after a minute and a half interaction. And I'm not a hoe, let me preface this, I'm not a hoe.
Well, you're not a
I'm
hoe
not
for
a
everyone.
hoe for everyone.
Okay.
But it functions as violation. People have a right to their masks. We spend years building personas that function in the world, edited versions of ourselves that can operate without exposing all the painful complexity we carry internally. When someone sees through those masks without permission, even with pure intentions, it's invasive. Imagine you're going through a deep existential crisis, doubt about your work, your marriage, your life choices, but you need to function. So you put on the mask of person who's fine, go to work, smile in meetings.
Well, you're not a
I'm
hoe
not
for
a
everyone.
hoe for everyone.
Okay.
Even if it's true, even if it's said with kindness, there's violation in that act. You didn't authorize being seen that way.
Now, it's two souls meeting in truth. No masks, no manipulation, no projection, just presence.
People have a right to their masks. When someone sees through those masks without permission, even with pure intentions, it's invasive.
Well, you're not a
I'm
hoe
not
for
a
everyone.
hoe for everyone.
Okay.
Even if it's true, even if it's said with kindness, there's violation in that act. You didn't authorize being seen that way.
And the result of that humiliation is rejection, silent hostility, and a reputation for being insensitive. Society doesn't hate intelligence as an idea, it hates whatever destabilizes the unwritten rules of the game.
The game has changed, and what you're going to see play out through the rest of 2026, and what I predict is going to happen even more, is that women seek genetic chads, and these are the guys that they actually lust after.
If your intelligence supports the game, you become a strategist, consultant, advisor, visionary.
But this is the raw truth, okay? The raw truth is the game has changed, especially with social media. You're going to have to do the things to separate yourself from the other guys, and women are seeking the genetic chads.
If it questions the game, you become annoying, negative, too intense. The same intelligence can produce respect or hostility depending on how it's expressed.
Well, you're not a
I'm
hoe
not
for
a
everyone.
hoe for everyone.
Okay.
Human interaction is a stage. Refuse to accept that, and you become a target. So the intelligent person becomes the scapegoat, the problem, the difficult one.
They're reacting to a perceived threat. And what's the threat? You. And here's the kicker. They decide, based on signals you might not even be aware of. Your tone, your interests, the way you think. Once you're labeled other, the hatred is automatic. It doesn't matter that you're kind. It doesn't matter that you're trying. The categorization has already happened, and the brain is wired to protect the tribe, even if the tribe is wrong.
He had no illusions about human nature.
And I'm not a hoe, let me preface this, I'm not a hoe.
Well, you're not a
I'm
hoe
not
for
a
everyone.
hoe for everyone.
Okay.
She carries the indelible social mark of the fallen woman, a label that society assigns but never removes. Men of high society desire her sexually with an intensity proportional to her exceptional beauty, while they despise her morally for exactly the same reason. She represents the forbidden that they can consume without social consequences for themselves. Elite women exclude her from respectable circles while secretly envying the male attention she monopolizes. She exists in a perfectly calibrated social limbo, too beautiful to be ignored, too stained to be accepted as an equal, too rich to be completely discarded, but not respectable enough for true integration. Everyone wants her in some way, whether as a sexual object, as a trophy, as an interesting scandal, as a redemption project, but no one respects her as a complete moral agent.
Most people think they want intelligent friends, but what they really want is someone who is intelligent enough to entertain them, yet gentle enough not to challenge them. Someone who offers insight without forcing them into discomfort. Someone who softens the truth instead of exposing it raw.
Well, you're not a hoe
Not
for
a
everyone.
hoe for everyone.
Okay.
It means he understood the structure of the game.
It used to be that hot women did not want modern men or the average men, but basically what you're going to find today is almost all women seem to not want modern men or average men, not just hot women. Okay, there's a shift happening. Okay, it's like, well, what about when Chad direct messages her? She's not even thinking about that conversation or all that riz that you had. She's gonna look at him and she's gonna go, yep, tall, attractive, muscular, tattoos, I wanna ride on that motorcycle too. Bad boy archetype that has a little bit more sex appeal. Some guys do this through tattoos, some guys do this through fashion, some guys do this through style, but regardless, these are going to be the men who are selected.
Well, you're not a hoe
Not
for everyone.
A hoe for everyone.
Okay.
The reason I think it's so important these guys are doing this stuff, basically the red pill is just men that have studied women's behavior and tried to explain it. And they're not moral. So a lot of times these Christian, like dorky guys will say that the red pill guys are degenerates or whatever. But the truth about female nature is kind of degenerate. That women don't want to be with one guy for life. That women are big fat slut whores. That women, given the opportunity, will try to do better than you. So none of this is comfortable.
He knew most people don't want truth. They want relief. They don't want depth. They want distraction with a philosophical flavor. They don't want to be challenged. They want to be confirmed. There is also an evolutionary reason for all of this. Human beings are tribal animals. For most of history, survival depended on staying inside the group. And in a tribal environment, the biggest threat isn't a distant predator. It's someone inside the tribe who destabilizes the group's harmony. Someone who thinks too much, questions too loudly, or sees too far becomes a problem. Not because they're wrong, but because they shake things the tribe needs to keep stable. Beliefs, rituals, hierarchies, social roles. In other words, the mind cares more about who is friend or rival, who can threaten you, who is above or below you, than about what is real. When an intelligent person speaks, they don't just speak. They unintentionally challenge shared stories. And shared stories are the glue of any group. If you break a collective illusion, don't expect gratitude. Expect resistance.
And I'm not a hoe. Let me preface this. I'm not a hoe.
Well, you're not a hoe
Not
for everyone.
A hoe for everyone.
Okay.